So hello and welcome back to the second Moviesandbox tutorial. And we jumped right in the first tutorial and created our first very own character using the voxel editor. And I was basically just taking for granted that you know how to install Moviesandbox, how to start it, what all these things mean. I didn't really tell you. And in this tutorial, I'll just give you a little bit of an overview of how the interface in Moviesandbox work. We'll take a look at the icons in the scene editor, and I'll just generally explain to you how to find your way around, where to click, where maybe not to click, because we're still in beta, and sometimes it's good to know what to do and what not to do. So in the Moviesandbox main menu, actually, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. And from these, the first button, as the name suggests, will actually switch the level name. Here you'll find all the levels of Unreal Tournament, all the levels that you create, that other people created, that you copied into your maps folder, will show up here as long as they have a prefix. So something like CTF minus or DM minus, or if I scroll further down, here are some levels that I created. And just be sure when you create a level in the Unreal editor, if you feel like it, just save it with a prefix, something like MSB or like your initials, and include a minus so that it shows up here in this list. So the level that we're going to use and that should show up in all of your installations is the MSB minus character creation box down here, and I click on it, and I already selected it before. In case you wonder, it's just a very, very simple box that we're going to use. Now, the second button here, this will take you to the scene editor. The scene editor is basically the guts of Moviesandbox. This is where everything happens. This is where you place your characters, tell them what to do, place your cameras, and so on and so forth. We'll talk about this in a couple of seconds. I'll just briefly explain the other couple of buttons that we have here. Now, the voxel editor you already know. It's the one that you use to create your first character in the tutorial that you probably saw before. And the almost final button here is the 2D character editor, which is still very much a work in progress. It's possible to use it. It's not so easy to figure out what to type in, what to use, what to do. And it's definitely an area that needs a lot more work. So unless you really want to, I don't know, fight your way through this, I would suggest not doing 2D characters right now. And obviously, if you want to exit Moviesandbox, you click the exit button. So let's go to the scene editor real quick. And here we are inside the character creation box, nothing fancy, just a cube with a couple of textures. And you see that the interface of Moviesandbox is very different from Unreal Tournament. You don't fly around, you don't have a weapon, you don't have health and all of that stuff. That's pretty obvious. When you move your mouse, you see that you're actually moving this little mouse cursor here, just like in the previous tutorial. This is your mouse. You can click with the left button, you can click with the right button, and if you click with the right button, you see that there's a small context menu, which is still a bit of a remainder of previous Moviesandbox versions. It will just help you to create things that you need very often, very fast. Now, just so you know, these two things work, and the save button, it just doesn't work. So don't even bother clicking on it. It's just not working yet. It's still in beta, and I'm still looking into this, just so you know. Like if you want to deselect something, so right now we right-clicked and this button, these buttons came up. Let me just left-click somewhere where nothing else is situated, and then all the buttons will disappear. Now here on the left-hand side, we have 7 buttons. The first one is the navigation button. It's very important. In Moviesandbox, you'll fly around a lot. You want to have a different look at your scene. You want to do different things. Now when I clicked on it, I just did that right now, you see that the screen turns brighter. Now this is the actual brightness of your scene, and you notice that when I move the mouse around, I'm not moving the mouse cursor anymore, but I'm actually changing the direction that I'm looking at. Now, basically, what the navigation mode is, it gets you in spectate mode, as in spectate mode in Unreal Tournament. So you can use the buttons W, S, A, and D to move around the map, and you can also use the crouch and jump buttons, crouch for going down and jump for going up. And when you click again, you see that the screen turns a little bit darker, and now you have control over your mouse cursor back, and everything's all right again. Now, because you'll be navigating a lot in Unreal in Moviesandbox, there's a shortcut for this button, so you don't have to go up here all the time, click and then fly around, and then go back to whatever you wanted to do. There's a button called Alt on almost every keyboard. So when you hit the Alt button, you actually switch between the setup mode and the navigation mode, and you have to hit the Alt button again to regain control over your mouse cursor and be in the setup mode